access level has recently increased. Excellent. Incoming message.
Welcome, agents, to episode 49 of Behind the Scanner. Your hosts for tonight are Frank Martinez from Southern California, Jorge Pedrero from Mexico City, Andrew Krug from Northern Virginia. Our special guests tonight are Chris Allen from Washington, D.C., and Lam Hei from Hong Kong and Australia. Joining us for the Weekly Truth is Jose Antonio Rey, and making their first appearance, Connor Tumbleston from Fev Games will be taking a look inside the scanner. I'm Kelly Colton. Welcome to the show. The Q&A tool is enabled for tonight's broadcast. Submit your questions throughout the show and we'll ask as many as time allows. If you know someone who would make a great guest, submit their information to us at bit.ly/BTS_guest. Finally, you can watch past episodes and subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/behindthescanner. And now, your hosts of Behind the Scanner.
Welcome back, agents. This is episode 49, and well, let's get the show started after a big introduction. Tonight, our first guest is from the current com of our host, Daphne D. Please welcome Chris Allen from Washington, D.C.
Yay! Oh, you're muted, man.
Hey.
You gotta click the button. It happens every week. Somebody does it.
Every week it happens.
We need to start a beat. You know what? That's going to be the official BTS drinking game. When somebody doesn't get unmuted, you got to take a shot.
Sure.
Well, welcome to the show, my man. It is about time that we formally recognize you, although your name is in the credit roll at the end of the show, but you are the guy responsible for the excellent, most awesome video intro for our show, Behind the Scanner. I can't tell you how much I really appreciate it. We've made cards, we've got our own bio cards that use the logo you created and everything else. So thanks from the bottom of our heart. We appreciate your time.
Okay.
With that being said, you describe your occupation as broadcasting and putting pixels on screens. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Is that what you do for a living currently?
Yeah, I do 3D design, motion design for the government, for the U.S. government, and I have a fuzzy camera. A lot of technical stuff, really. I'm leaning more towards studio configurations and moving stuff that other people make into shows for actual broadcast shows, for TV shows. So yeah.
Awesome. Oh, that's another shot. There it is. 2 shots already. The show just started. You gotta take yourself off mute, Frank. There you go.
Hold on. I don't feel bad.
There it is. All right.
All right, Chris. Now that I'm halfway to being sauced, you've with some very interesting employers in the past, such as the Golf Channel, Black Entertainment Television, and KKYK TV, based in Little Rock, Arkansas. Have you always been drawn to the visual medium, and when did you start experimenting with production and visual information?
No, I started in radio. I was a radio TV production major in college and thought that, radio's going to be awesome. Well, it turns out the only thing radio is actually good for is free drinks after your shift. There's not a whole lot of money in it, and the formats change constantly, so you don't. It's not like, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to be really into rock music at some point, and then 2 months later, the station changes formats to country. So it's not the most stable of positions in the world. And then sort of the company I worked for had a television arm as well, so I moved over into production there and started directing and technical directing newscasts and television shows. And then we had here's all the snoozer stuff. We had a virtual set. It's a giant room that looks like a 30 by 30 weatherman's wall, and that's what actually got me to DC. I started helping produce a show called Sita's World with Black Entertainment, and it was a full 3D character that played videos and talked trash about rap artists.
Nice.
It was fun. So.
Well, Chris, do you have any nickname when you were on radio?
Oh, on the radio? No, it's always been Chris Allen. It's the most generic name that in the world. I think I want to say I had like 25 Chris Allens that were in my my freshman class of college. So no, it's Chris Allen is the best, most generic, random white guy name you're ever gonna run across. So.
Well,
no.
Clearly you are very talented, and if someone were interested in producing any videos, what would you? Sorry, Andrew. Andrew, change my question right now. So.
What? Did I?
What? Yeah.
Andrew.
Or not? Yeah. No. Well.
No.
What would you advise?
It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it?
Okay. Again.
Take a breath. Compose yourself. And
There we go.
Which would be your advice for anyone that wants to start producing videos and start in the media?
Just starting in media?
Yeah.
Start recording everything you're doing and hop into the tools. The toolkit is so cheap, if not free in some cases, depending on what you're doing. Why does my camera go blurry? That's not fun, guys. So your cell phone records better than what you're going to watch on television anyway. So that's killing me. So just hop in and just start practicing and playing around and find stuff that you're interested in, whether it be video games or commercials or whatever, graphics, doesn't matter. Just take what you like, take something that you're interested in, and try to reverse engineer it and see how the people that made what they made did what they did. One of the biggest things that people miss, there's a lot of nuance in motion graphics. There's a lot of nuance in 3D design that people don't necessarily pick up on. So it's just a lot of man hours, man. The whole idea of the 10,000 hours, it holds true into this as well. That you just have to kind of sit there and learn the toolkit and figure out stuff that's going to keep you interested and keep you passionate about it. So.
Do you have any tips that for the new users for Adobe Premiere or After Effects or something like that? That it's something that it's really easy to do, but it's something that nobody catch it from at the beginning of using the program.
Yeah, final deliverables actually. Like we were talking about earlier. The final deliverables that I gave to the show, I just went on the assumption that they would be HD. You guys actually need a down-res version of that. So talking to the client and really figuring out what the final deliverable is going to be, what the format needs to be. You might provide them a QuickTime movie, but they have a system that only accepts AVIs or vice versa. So being able to have an open relationship with the client is not necessarily immediately evident to people, but it is fundamental. On top, like I said, on top of knowing what to deliver, so that's important.
Speaking of deliverables and having a relationship with your clients, this next thing actually came up. It's come up a lot this week in trying to get prepared for the anomalies, and doing artwork and getting swag and all that. And I see a lot of my creative type friends always sort of being hounded by guys like me coming to the guys like you, to help me come up with some sort of design artwork. And I saw something a while back on a website named creativemornings.com that sort of presents films, videos, lectures. It's kind of like TED for the artistically inclined people. I have no idea how I found it. But there's a famous seminar by Mike Monteiro, I think is how you pronounce his last name, that's titled, I don't know if I can say the first word, but basically FU Pay Me. I'll put a link to the video in the comments. But it's been watched by a lot of people, and it's really about you not getting screwed over by your clients, understanding what they need, and making sure people like me don't hound you for free. So I guess my question is, how do you keep yourself sane while still wanting to help out the people like myself, but not get taken advantage of? And I guess maybe, are you even familiar with that clip from Mike Monteiro?
Yeah, that's a classic. That particular clip was one of the first that really eloquently put how to fire a client. That's really
yes, absolutely.
That in the freelance realm, you never want to turn down work, and it's tough if you're doing a logo or some simple design work or something like that, something that you're into. There has to be some sort of reward for you to do it, whether that reward be monetary or just this is something that I'm into and I feel like giving back to the community. But yeah, the FU Pay Me talk is a classic. I actually suggest anybody watching this just take a few minutes and watch that one in particular. There's some really good leadership ones from Simon Schreck. No, it's not Schreck. That's not how you pronounce his last name. Simon, he's on there. There's some really good ones, though. It's just a lot of finding your passion, keeping your passion, and like I said, for the FU Pay Me one, that being able to fire, having the balls to fire a client and going, you know what, the scope of this work has changed so radically that we need to stop this, rework the contract, and then we can start working new. One of his biggest points in that talk was having a really strong contracts lawyer to be able to do that and to be able to intervene for a creative. People who are creative get so wrapped up in the actual making of the art that we're bad business people in a lot of cases. So having someone who's a business guy in your corner that you can count on is a great asset. Or you really just turn into, or you have to change your mindset and be able to turn the creative off and turn the business on, and know when and where each is appropriate. So I suggest anybody, even people who are not, quote unquote creative, go out and watch it because it's got some really good tips in it.
Yeah, we'll definitely put a link in the comment section when our video interview gets uploaded to YouTube. So.
Well, as someone who can relate as coming from the creative background, I think also everyone should experience firing the client at least once. It's a very
Indeed.
It's a very empowering experience, and it really kind of gives you a little bit of confidence to draw that line in the sand and not feel like a total jerk. So do that once in a while too. For everyone watching, remember you can submit your questions to our guest. If you're watching us via YouTube, you can click on the banner at the bottom where it says be a part of the conversation. From there, just click the square grid in the menu icon in the upper right and select Q&A. So let's switch gears, talk about Ingress. An important question I have to ask is, how do you find the time to play at all with your children, family, work demands, etc.?
Well, fortunately for me, I have a Guardian portal right up the street at the end of the block, and then my morning walk commute, I have 6 portals that I maintain fairly regularly, and that are hacked. I want to say 3 of the 6 are full level 8s. So I work insanely early. It's way past my bedtime. So the mornings, if I can get out of the house with a good 10 or 15 minutes before I need to be where I need to be, I have just enough time to hack and recharge my on the route portals. And then there's a couple over by my office that are always resistance that I try to throw a couple of XMPs at to keep those sort of shaved down as much as humanly possible. But there's some pretty heavy duty guys that keep them pretty well maintained. So.
Chris, I want to know something that I can't find a way to pronounce your code name. What does it mean?
It doesn't mean anything. That's actually the default name.
Okay.
I've been playing Ingress since it was in beta. Let's throw that out there. So you remember back when they first started the game and they were putting little hints and little pieces and parts out on Google Plus. Yeah. And you could get a beta invite by drawing a picture or doing something quirky with the Niantic logo, or I sort of weaseled my way in that way. So not knowing, it's a game, of course. So not knowing how much time I'm going to put into it or how interesting it's actually going to be. Like I liked that initial lead in, but not knowing how actually interesting the game itself was going to be, or how into it I was going to be, how engaged I would be in it. I just never worried about coming up with some cool agent name, and then everybody just, I'm the Dark Knight with a 9, or Steve with a Z, or some random name. I'm like, you know what? I'm keeping it default. I don't even care anymore. It's G9EE, whatever the hell it is, and it's going to be that way until I'm bored with this game or this game gets bored with me. So it is the default, whatever the server spat out, random batch of characters. So it's turned into a blessing almost. So I don't get stalked regularly by resistance players. So.
Well,
that's the name, man.
Let's imagine that you wish to change your name, and you had three options. What would those options would be?
Well, number one, we're going to stay with Chris Allen.
No, you can choose. No, man.
Chris Allen. It's Chris Allen. Number one, generic, done. Then Chris Allen, if you look at my Gmail, and then Chris Allen 1 for my Twitter. So that would be my top 3. Done, man. It's done. I'm sorry.
I'm still stuck on Steve with a Z.
you know for a fact you have seen some really lame ass agent names. Like what was this Yahoo thinking?
Steve with a Z.
Yeah, like some.
Man, you are not that creative.
It's called branding. It's branding. You know for a fact what it is. It's branding.
That's right. Take the Kanye tip.
Nice. I think actually those agent names like yours, the old school ones, were some part of like the activation code you had to put in originally, or something like that, I thought too. So a little reminiscing. Those were the days. All right. Since we've deciphered how you play and the fact that you are limited in your play. What are your thoughts these days as it relates to AP and gaining levels and all of that? Do you think there should be 32 levels? Is AP really that important to you? What's your take on that?
AP is not that important. No, it's really just bragging rights at this point. If they release some new weapons, some reason to go above a level 8, that would be awesome. I don't know if we've talked about this. I normally play solo. I haven't been to any of the anomalies. I've only met one group of players, and they were in Orlando, Florida. The family and I were there for Disney, and I was hacking around downtown Orlando and met some people. But actually playing in DC, I've only met one or two people. So the levels, it's bragging. It seems like it's more bragging rights, just because the weapons are topped out at 8. You know, your resonators are topped out at 8. So until there's a reason to go above that, it's just bragging rights.
Well, man, since you've never been to Anomaly, we got to get you to one. May 30th coming up.
You're gonna have to kidnap me. I'm not saying I wouldn't go. I'm saying the boss lady upstairs. Plus, I'm having my third kid on the 26th of May, guys. So that's gonna be.
You know what? All I heard was
level.
You're gonna have a new teammate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuses. Man, I've got kids. You know, when they're 4 days old, they do nothing. They do nothing but sleep.
Right.
You know, for a day. And honestly, the clusters are literally in your backyard. In fact, they are your backyard.
Yeah, but look, man, you get your wife to play, and you get your newborn to play, and you got a rolling 7 farm, man.
Absolutely.
You're ready to rock.
The wife barely uses her phone to text message me when I'm like, where is this? Like when I'm looking for something legitimately. So getting her to play a game that's going to be a no-go.
It's probably a challenge. So you kind of alluded earlier that you discovered Ingress. I'm guessing on G+, right? Since that's where you were kind of interacting in the early days. Is that how you discovered it? Just kind of perusing G+.
Yeah. Actually, just scrolling around. That's back when everybody was accusing Google Plus of being a ghost town. This focus is killing me on this camera.
I thought it was my alcohol for a minute.
No, I wish.
It's a feature. It's an effect. That's
so trying to get. I got a buddy of mine in Key West involved through G Plus as well. But yeah, just kind of following that, like these are kind of interesting, things. What is this about? And so that's what drew me to it initially, was the storyline. Like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's got some, kind of sci-fi elements to it. Are we bringing about the next evolution of humankind, or is this going to bring about the destruction of humanity? So those things were kind of that whole in days type of thing, was kind of interesting, and that's what I'm saying. Well, let's hop in this game. Let's see if it's fun, and how long it holds your attention, and and it turned out that the user interface was great. The graphic design was top notch. I'm trying to remember I had an old HTC phone that I started playing on that was oh my god, Ingress would drain the battery in about 5 minutes. It was insane. But yeah, to answer your question more directly, yes, following it on Google Plus and finally getting a beta invite, and I was pretty stoked that day. I was like, all right, the beta.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
The cool club.
The cool kids club. Nerd. So.
Right. Cred, right here. Got it. So, I mean, that being said, you've been playing for a long time, obviously. I mean, what's the secret, right, to not getting burned out and continuing to play the game and your continued involvement? Because I think there's a lot of agents out there that probably, after a year, maybe they feel a little long in the tooth and they're kind of looking for a new challenge. What keeps you playing, and do you have any tips for those that are in that journey?
Not necessarily tips. If you're into it, you're into it. Like I said, I've enjoyed the evolution of the game. What's the website? I can't remember the name of the website, but they do a teardown of the APKs when they get tossed out. And like I said, I've really enjoyed the visual journey that they've done with the design work. You remember back in the day, you had to scroll to resist. That was the worst. So seeing that and watching, actually in almost real time, watching those guys troubleshoot user experience issues like that, that to me has been one of the more interesting aspects. It's just, it looks cool, and sort of watching that, and wondering. I'm at a point now with from a development standpoint, kind of to see where they're going to be when they throw in-game out. If they're going to continue to develop for Ingress, and if that's going to just sort of peter off, and they're going to throw everything they got on in-game, or if Ingress has got some kind of cool curve that we're not expecting. So that's actually the long game for the development end is interesting for me. And through that, you need to keep playing. So let's say they let loose 32 levels next week. I'm well on my way to level 9. Ooh. So being able to get to that point to use some of the newer weapons or whatever they happen to release down the line, and just to keep it interesting that way. I just hope it's not okay. Now we've got level 9 XMPs, or you need 4 more keys to do a link or some nonsense like that. That sort of stuff. I hate games where grinding becomes the game.
Oh my God,
just
absolutely.
Old and obnoxious so fast, and that's been one of the benefits to Ingress and the way the levels have worked. That you get that once you level up, you see it as this long way off. But if you're playing regularly, it's not as grindy as it might feel like.
Well, I'm muted? No. Sorry.
You got a drink.
I thought I was muted, yeah. Well, just that you are not so much into the vanity levels that we had for a year now, I think. So, but where were you when you reached level 8, and how did you react after you made it?
I reached level 8 by recharging my Guardian portal.
No.
Recharging, and I was happy as hell because I had about 200 level 8 XMPs that I was excited to use. So yeah, I was pretty stoked to be, like I was saying earlier. Oh, new weapon. Let's see what this does. What the damage is like, or what the spread of the damage is like. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. And now it's just turned into, there's a lot of oh man, great! I got a whole rack of level 6 XMPs now, and there's only 2 level 8 portals around here, and they keep spitting out level 7 resonators, and this is getting on my nerves because I currently have about 350 level 7 resonators and no level 8s. So
How long did it take to you to reach level 8 just by recharging?
Oh no, not just by recharging. Actually, reaching level 8 was about probably like a year and a half, maybe. Steady playing.
Okay.
I just happened to be recharging my portal when I clicked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just like, oh, that's awesome. So.
The new players get to level 8 in 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I'm like, I don't know. Number one, I don't know how they do it. I don't. There's a lot that you must play a lot, or who's
There's a lot of portals.
There are a lot of portals, and all right. So the Seer badge. Let's talk about the Seer badge for a minute.
Damn.
That one, yeah, you hit a nerve.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! I submitted so many damn portals, and maybe 4 were accepted, and then they took the badge away. And this is over the course of me playing, not just like some in the wind. Oh, they're thinking about getting rid of the Seer badge, and you start submitting portals. I'm talking like submit. I mean, I live in DC, so everything in DC has some historical significance of some kind.
Oh my God!
Right?
Every rock, every
rock, every blade of grass.
Yeah.
All right. So Andrew, how many churches alone are around you? In just in Virginia, right?
I've got one right. Actually, two.
So exactly. So churches are a guarantee get. Historical items are a guarantee get. Great. Church, historical, church, historical item, and literally like 4. And then they dropped off the Seer badge, and it's like, son of a gun. So,
there are so many plaques around this area. Everywhere you turn.
I know.
Even in the middle of the forest, there's plaques and monuments and things.
Yep. I have one up by me. I was randomly, the kids and I were walking through the woods, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! Submit."
That's awesome. So I'm from California. We don't have that luxury. Everything here is like brand new. I'm like, oh yeah, that was built last week. I mean,
nice.
Well, finally, Chris, you said also that you are a solo player. So I think you must tend to be a destroyer, but what do you prefer, destroy or build?
Destroying is very satisfying. I'll tell you. Here's a frustrating story. One of my Guardian portal. I think it was like, I want to say like 90-something days in, right? And somebody linked it, and then somebody had to come through and destroy it because because the link was crossing like a major field, and it's like, damn it, So I'm not a big linker, so I'll build a portal the best I can and hope that people come back and backfill it. But yeah, solo play is just destruction. that's really the best thing you got. And then one level 7, there's the one level 8, there's 2 level 6s, 2 level 5s, and you fill it out with the rest of whatever you got. Throw a couple of shields on it and hope to God somebody comes behind you and finish it. Put some higher stuff on it that you couldn't do. So yeah, destruction is unfortunately a necessary part of being a solo player.
Sure.
So this next one is probably one of my favorite questions, because actually, especially the expressions that you get on people's faces when you ask them to do this. But how do you explain Ingress to non-players in your life? Is it like a deer in headlights, or do you have a formulated canned response already set up in your?
Canned response. It's what are you looking at? And it's like, oh, it's a game. Oh, it's a game. Well, yeah, it's kind of like global capture the flag in a way, and you have to be within. It uses the GPS on your phone, and everybody already knows that I'm like a nerdy, like a gadget guy. So they're like, oh, it's one of those gadgety.
They just start to back away slowly. This is a Chris thing.
Yeah.
Nerd!
They know that I'm about to nerd out on them. And
geolocation, man, into portals.
Yeah, I don't throw the storyline stuff out at them. It is more than I'll get real self-conscious and start swiping away stuff on the watch.
There's aliens, and
so you don't look at them and go, "I'm saving humanity, man. Back off."
No. People that are into it, they get it, and people that don't, you know the people. Like, how many of you guys have your recruiter badge? I don't have that. So of the people that the people that would be into it and the people that wouldn't be. So really, capture the flag is the best way to explain it to people. So.
Fair enough. I think I like to say it's like the board game Risk, only instead of capturing Australia on your board game, you got to actually go to Australia to capture it, and that always throws them for a little bit of a loop. But capture the flag works too.
I always start with aliens, so
Aliens. You just cut right to it. Aliens, artificial intelligence.
Just cut to the
Yeah.
chase, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Trying to control minds. Yeah. That could throw some people off for a bit, but
Like Predator meets. No, I'm just kidding.
well, talking about throwing some people off for a bit. Are you ready to take some of the viewer questions? See if we can throw you off your game.
Who, me? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna save the best one for the last because I think that actually might throw you off. But all right, the first question is from Wako DG507. I have no idea if I'm
Nice.
pronouncing that right. He wants to know, what would you like to add to this scanner? I guess a feature apart from more inventory.
You know, the biggest, I think that we should enable a larger range. Like, you should be able to zoom out and see more of the map. Like I said, going back, being a solo player, it's tough to make strategic links because you get such a small view of the map. So then that's where the community action comes into play, of being able to strategize and say, hey, you know, this portal 100 miles from here, we can link that here or here. Being a solo player and having such an actual small portion of the map to see is tough, because I don't want to screw anybody on a big field. So that being able to see a larger portion of the field of play for linking would be super beneficial.
You know, I hadn't thought about that. That's actually a really good point. If you know, there's so many ways to play the game, but if you do choose to play it as a solo player, yeah, you do sort of have that handicap when it comes to the intel. Unless, I guess, you bring your laptop everywhere and tether to it and walk around playing on your phone and your laptop as well, right?
Wait, you guys don't do that?
No, I tend not to.
I don't want to get
It gets a little
robbed.
hot when I'm holding it, yeah. All right, so the second question is from our buddy Fev Silver Wind. He would like to know, have you ever done any 3D design for video games, either for fun or professionally?
No, I have not. The closest I've done for something of that nature was virtual sets, like I was saying earlier, the 3D character. So the ideas are the same, keeping the polygon count low, being able to have them run in real time, 30 frames a second, 60 frames a second, whatever that target frame rate is supposed to be, and knowing what you need and what you don't need. So being very conscious of where the camera is going to be pointed, and we're going to get real geeky for a second, just for you, man. Here we go. So if you're going to build a column in 3D, all right, that's got to make it smooth. It's got to have a nasty amount of points on it to get it smoothed out. So being able to take that down to its minimum amount of polys and still have it be smooth, and then knock off the parts that are never going to be seen, so that way the game stays in real time. So to your point, no, but I have done work that could port over to games. Yes.
So Feminist is happening to be looking for a 3D artist.
Yeah, he's clearly hiring.
There you go.
I would love to do it. So.
All right, so our final question of the evening, well, not of the evening, we got one more for the evening, but the final question of the viewers submitted ones is going to be from our own Shani B. Martinez. This is very interesting. Chris, if you could draft a fantasy design dream team for a project, who would you enlist, dead or alive? This is a fantasy.
Wow.
Individual people or companies?
People, I'm sure. Being that's my wife, it's got to be people.
Yeah, that's nearly impossible. There's a lot of really good designers. You have to look at it. That's tough to answer. What would be the project? Every designer has a rack of strengths and a rack of weaknesses. So building a team has to be built around a project. And that way, as a project leader or a project manager for that project, you can go, hey, Chris is really good at 3D, or Chris is really good at texturing. I need him on this project. Or Chris is really bad at lighting, and I have somebody who is insane at lighting. Sorry, I got to take a pass on Chris this time. So I could not give you a legitimate answer for that. It's too project based to give a good answer. If you want companies, Pentagram is nuts. Their logo design work is out of control. A company we used to work with, Giant
Maybe
Octopus.
even like inspirational designers, maybe. People that you look up to that are like, this is who either got me started or wanted me to do better or has pushed me, or their work is just inspiring.
It's an oldie but a goodie, man. MK12, back in the early 2000s, put out a piece called Sweater Porn. That is a classic. If you Google it, do not do that at work. But MK12, if you have any sort of idea about design or getting into design, start checking out companies, and you'll really quickly find people that you respect their design work, you respect their technique. One word of advice for design, I love Andrew Kramer, I love Nick Campbell, all the Grayscale Gorilla stuff. If that crap ends up on your reels, you're a jerk. Anybody in the business for more than a week can tell that stuff a mile away, and it does you a disservice and it discredits your name long term. Like, you end up really hobbling yourself in a lot of ways by that stuff ending up on your reels. So, learn the techniques, take away what they've shown you, but make sure you make it your own in such a way that no one would ever know that it's a based off of a tutorial or something that you saw on the internet.
Right on. Thanks, Chris. Well, it's that time for our BTS tradition. For better or worse, we give every guest at the end of their interview 60 seconds to talk about whatever they want, a shout out to whoever they want, and whenever you're ready, Chris, go ahead.
Let's give a shout out. To the green era of CUA, all the Catholic University guys that play around that area. And thanks to my family for letting me stay up late and not barging down the steps every 5 minutes on what are you doing, what's going on. Yeah, man, I'm gonna take less than 60 since we started a little bit late, but yeah, I thank you guys for letting me on, and anybody has any questions, whatever, I'm always available on Google Plus or anywhere else. I'm pretty easy to find. I'm out there, so yeah, man, that's it. Thanks for having me.
Chris Allen, everybody. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you being on.
Except you have the generic name, so make sure you have the right Chris Allen.
Thank you, Chris.
You know what? I worked with a Chris Allen, by the way, and we used to call him CFA. The F, I think you can figure out.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's a good dude, though. Take care.
Thanks again, Chris.
Later, guys. All right. Anytime, guys.
All right, so before we get to the next segment, we are going to debut a new one for you on Behind the Scanner. We are proud to announce a partnership with Fev Games. We're going to do something that we're going to call Inside the Scanner. Basically, we're going to have somebody from Fev Games on. This week it's going to be Connor Tumpleson. He's going to break down any sort of app changes, edits the game mechanics, describe the new features for you. This is the inaugural kickoff, so I guess, Connor, take it away.
Thank you. Yep, this is going to be our first run-through of something never done before, so let's hope it works out. In the past week or so, we got a new Android version. We got 1.75.0. And while the official Google Play changelog just says bug fixes, we at Fev Games can actually dig into the APK, which is the Android package, and see actually what has changed in this version versus just the official bug fixes name. So of course we obviously found and talked about for everyone was shards. Shards were coming back to the game, and this time they were coming in 41 versions. 41 different shards, and that surprised some. It didn't surprise others. Some love the shards, some don't, but they're coming back, and we found out about that. There was a couple other cool things that don't yet have details, which we'll figure out on the next version. They were called Recharge V2, Entity Picker, and Multiple Artifacts. No idea really how those things work or what they are. The naming sounds interesting. but we don't know exactly what they do. Only the next version will tell. If we just move away a bit from the scanner, we can talk about a new medal. Everyone loves medals. It seems a lot of people are racing to get every medal possible on their profile. In Austria, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the city for it, but they launched a mission day where you could complete 7 of the 12 missions that a tourism company created, and that got you this medal, a sweet little orange medal that could be added to your profile. And Ingress, after that event, has actually posted that they're looking for additional ways for that medal to be obtained. So we might see those events in other places, or we might not. And then even newer than that, today we had some new changes. So Ingress, during the Ingress report, announced that there would be a boost of AP for 1.5 times the rate, and that is currently live. So your old recharge rate of 10 AP for remote recharging that Chris loves to do so much is now 15 AP. So you can get boost from hacking. I mean, any action you do is now multiplied by 1.5. So you'll get boost from everything. And in addition to that, ultra strikes. Everyone knows they're pretty hard to hack, but now they've had a little boost, so you can pick them up more easily. Now this is going to last for 7 days. No one knows exactly when it's going to end, but in 7 days from now, we'll probably see an announcement where it's gone. So take advantage of it while you can. And then finally, there's that Now page on your stats. Some people missed out on the Sojourner hacking daily, so they had to restart their counter, but they have no idea if they're actually correctly counting up until they pass their previous max. So now there's a new one called Current Hack Streak. So if you fail to hack a day, you can now see your new counter on that Now tab to see everything. That was a lot of information in a short amount of time, but that was a small little recap of everything that's happened since last week in the world of Ingress.
Awesome, man. Definitely appreciate it. The Niantic team does not sleep ever, so being able to recap this stuff is always good. And in between Connor's appearances on Behind the Scanner, if you want to go to fevgames.net, that's F-E-V games.net, you can check out more of that information as they actually come out live in real time. 0 day, if you will. So with that, Connor, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. Look forward to next week.
Thank you.
All right, it is that time of the show that everybody loves. They get out their phones, they take the pictures. It is the code of the show. And like magic, it appears over my shoulder every single week in the beautiful red ribbon. Red because, well, obviously the third faction is coming, right? So there you go. We'll leave that up there for a few more seconds. We don't know what they are. They could be Jarvis's, Ada's, Ultra Strikes, Shields. Don't know how many you get. You don't know how reshareable they are. You can definitely reshare them, and they are definitely multi-redeemable. I see one of our guests, Lam, typing away furiously trying to redeem them. So there you go, guys. And they are going, and gone. All right.
All right. It's now time for our weekly truth with our very own resident Operation Essex investigator, Jose Antonio Rey. Without the help of Susanna Moyer, we'll break down what has happened in the Ingress storyline over the last week.
Thanks, Frank, and I'm glad to be here again on Behind the Scanner to share with you what's been going on the last week with the Niantic project and the leaks that have been revealed. Over the past week, we've seen some interesting stuff on Google Plus. Verity Seek has put on the Niantic project page. She has posted some conversations that she had with some interesting people in different companies. Lorison talked to Ilya and talked to you and me. Lorison was wondering about the status of Dr. Deborah Bogdanovich because he didn't talk to a lot before she came back to the state. However, it's interesting because really going on with the Niantic project members. some of us believe that Calvin wasn't actually. A while ago, there was a video where Clue mentioned that the Niantic project members were so didn't understand and notice that they were the experiment. So right now we're trying to find out what's going to be the next thing. Last week, Susanna mentioned us that there's a possibility that the Niantic project members may have recursioned or become shards. What's happening. We also know from the Ingress report that the Lightman shards are coming up. So this is not only, but it means that Stain Lightman has recursion and has become shards. Just as Roland Jarvis did and just did. Dr. Stein Lyman, who was a glyph researcher and who has gave the meaning for most of the glyphs that we know and we see on our scanners on different Google posts, he has now become shards, 41 shards, and he will be traveling around the world to get to different targets. One resistance and one enlightenment. We don't know what's going to happen once these shards get reunited, since we have not seen anything happen with Deborah Bogdanovich. Right, Deborah hasn't recursioned or something back to her normal status or an exum entity. So this is really into what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. We hope that the Niantic project members are safe, though. As I mentioned, there's that they are in the Ultimate or the Portal Network. So we're going to try and see what's going on there. We're going to try and understand, inspect what may be the options, one may recursion and become shards, that they will be traveling around the world, or that they are just locked in some kind of space. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to see more of this in the upcoming weeks, and stay tuned for that. Make sure to follow the Niantic project page on Google+, since Verityseek is going to be posting more and more updates on what's going on with the storyline and all characters and all this going on around the Ingress world. And make sure to follow Operation Essex on operationessex.org.
Great. Thank you, Jose, for breaking the story down for us. It makes it very easy for me, and I think for a lot of people to understand it and follow it. Well, as mentioned at the start of the show, our next guest is Lam Hei. He's from Hong Kong, or, well, maybe from Australia. Lam, where in the future are you joining us today?
Lam just had some technical difficulties, and there he is. He's back right now. Just
Yeah,
gonna have to get his audio to come back.
He's muted.
There you go. It would be so much easier if we did this thing pre-recorded, but it wouldn't be as much fun. You get to see people sweat.
It wouldn't be much easier, man.
No, it really wouldn't.
Do you know how many editing we should have to do?
Okay, I think Lam is with us now. Can you hear us, Lam? Oh, but we can't hear you now. Uh-oh. We're halfway there.
Lam is muted.
Okay, I'm back. Hello.
Ah, perfect. There you go.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. So, are you in Hong Kong or are you in Australia? We're not really sure where you're from right now.
Actually, I'm in Hong Kong right now. In this moment, I'm in Hong Kong.
Okay.
And I've been to Australia before for working holiday and for Ingress.
Ah, that's where we got that from. Okay, okay. Well, let's address the obvious question first. I think people can see it in your lower third. Your agent name is Enlightened HK, but you are a resistance agent. What's the story behind that?
It's a funny story. My first code name is a code. It's just a code. And my second name is Lam Hei. And I tried to get a funny name that if someone saw my code name, they will remember me. And I try to think, what code name will let the people to remember? And when I saw the other agent called Resistant HK, and I try to be another HK, and we want to make a cost fashion portal in the farm. Another HK capture a portal, and Resistant HK deploy 2 shield inside. Yeah, it's a cost fashion portal by Resistant.
Nice, nice.
That's awesome. So, Lam, what other hobbies or things do you take time to enjoy in your life besides playing Ingress?
Without Ingress, I love running and go outside, taking photos, and playing the computer games with the others. Always.
So basically Ingress.
Yeah, basically it's Ingress. Yeah, maybe I will get 1 to 2 days for the other hobbies, but the other time
what are
all
those?
Ingress.
What are those other hobbies?
Hobbies. My hobbies is just playing the games, computer games, and go outside with the others, hanging out with the others, and sports. Yeah, always sports.
Got it. So what would you say have been the biggest changes in your life as a direct result of playing Ingress?
Before I play the Ingress, I always stay at home. Never want to go out because I think it's pretty stupid that someone told me, "Hey, here is a game called Ingress. You need to go out. Always go out because you can't play the game at home." And I say, "Oh, it's so stupid. I never want to play this game." But she tell me, "Try it. Just try it." And she let me install Ingress, and I start to play it. And I think I can hang out with the others. I can make more new friends, and I can travel more and explore the world. So I started playing Ingress until level 8 and until now level 16. Keep going.
Nice.
So, what other aspects of Ingress besides meeting new people and exploring new places have you experienced from Ingress?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah. What other aspects of Ingress besides meeting new people and exploring new places have you experienced from Ingress?
I need to think of these questions because without Ingress, I always play Ingress and spend many times on it. And beside Ingress, I don't think I will meet the friends on the internet. Always on the internet.
So that's definitely the social aspect of the game is very, very, very strong, and it can affect you in many, many ways. So I'm sure that's not a unique experience for anybody, but that's cool to see that it happens no matter where you're at or who you're at or how you play. And speaking of playing, you mentioned you were a level 16 agent. In order to get to level 16, you've got to do many things, get badges and AP. So how would you describe yourself as an Ingress player?
I would describe myself maybe active or crazy, or I would spend all the times that when after work I will play Ingress until I feel tired. Until I feel tired, so I will stop it, or maybe until my battery is all gone.
You must have an anchor or a portable battery, though, right?
Yeah, many batteries. 4,000. Oh, here is the one of it, and the second in my the second. I'm free of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are
But
definitely a crazy player, yes.
But the battery always burn out. Really, it's so easy to burn out because Ingress is it needs many battery to support it for GPS, for the network, and many things.
So how many hours a week do you play Ingress with all of those batteries?
I know, really I know because maybe one day I will spend 4 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours on it. But in a week, maybe I will spend one day to let me have a break, and the other times still Ingress.
Ingress all the time. I love it. I like it.
Ingress all the time because I want to be level 16 when the level 16 release. It's so hard. It's really hard. Someone already told me, do you want to try to change your faction? No way. It's
If they
really too hard to get to level 16 again. It's too hard. For the medals, or you need to spend many times to get the APs, explore the world again. It's so hard.
That's smart.
Yeah.
He's setting himself up for success, Frank. You see that? He's getting ready.
I know,
He's
right?
getting ready for the level 16 weapons and everything else. That's
Right.
good.
And let's face it, he really can't switch factions, or else the name wouldn't be so ironic, right?
That's true.
I mean,
That's true.
So, Lam,
Yeah.
is there a current Ingress objective or goal that you're trying to achieve?
I already got the UPV medal, the platinum medal. I want to get the black medal for my next target.
So you're all set. You're done.
I'll try to do it, but I think it's so hard for me because I need to spend more times for traveling and to play. But I still need to spend some times for working because we need money for travel, right?
Well, for everyone watching, remember that you can submit questions for our guest. If you are watching us via YouTube, you have to click on the banner at the bottom of the video that says "Be part of the conversation," and as Andrew's showing us, and from there you just click the square grid menu icon in the upper right and select Q&A, and that's it. So, Lem, you mentioned
Yes.
us that you wanted to talk about being a backpacker for Ingress. What did you mean by that?
The backpackers mean I go to some country or to some place for a travel or be a working holiday. I have been to Australia before and be the back the medal, the platinum medal. Then I got it in there, and I got level 16, level 15, and level 14 in there.
Nice. So you just go places and travel around and
Yeah,
see the
travel
world.
around. Yeah, try to seek the world because in Hong Kong, if you want to get the Guardian, it's very hard, and I want to go to the other country and try to get my Guardian in there, but now I got it. I got my 150 days Guardian, but I even don't know where is it. Someone help me to recharge it every single day, but I still don't know where is it actually. Which one is my Guardian portal?
That's good though. That's good. That's the game. It's the social aspect of it, people working together, and you got a Guardian portal from it. That's awesome.
But I think the active player is more harder than the other players to get the 150 days Guardian. It's so hard because So like you're always killing my portals in the city, and I want to find your guardian and kill it in 89 days or 149 days, always.
That's amazing. I had a friend in Germany who was recharging what I thought was my Guardian portal for a very, very long time. So I asked him to do that. The fact that somebody's doing that for you and you didn't ask them is pretty cool. I think that's really cool.
But I think if you know you have a guardian, never want to try to know which one is your guardian. Never.
Or
Because
as,
if you don't know which one is your guardian, and no more people can know which one is your guardian.
or as Chris sort of mentioned, although he didn't do it, linking to your Guardian is also probably not a good idea as well.
Yeah,
So.
no, never link my guardian. But my stat is very fun. I have 151 days link maintained, but my guardian is just 150 days. I don't know why, but I got it.
Well, let's not question it. Let's leave it alone so nobody else knows about it. We'll move on to another topic that you wanted to explore and talk about tonight, and that was a third faction. So what are your thoughts on a third faction, and why did you want to talk about it?
The third faction, because in Ingress, always blue and green. Maybe if we have the third faction, the resistance and the another agents can join it together. We can co-op, we can make the new portals or make the new areas or some different types of playing Ingress. Maybe it's more fun than just resistant killing another portals and then killing the resistant portals. I think it's maybe it's more fun or some more, yeah.
Well, I think it might also have a side effect of right now you have, two people focused on each other, whereas if you have three, who do you focus on? Do you focus on the other two, or do you have an alignment and maybe
All the
deal
enemies.
with somebody else? Yeah. Is everybody going to be your enemy, or do you make a strategic friendship with some people that could add some interesting dynamics to it? So.
Yeah, I think if Ingress can have the third faction, maybe all the people join that faction, and you can have many, all the people join it, and you can get some more special skills. Like I can capture a portal, and it is more harder to destroy it, or someone can destroy a portal more easily. I think it will be more fun.
So, Lam, you shared a secret with us
Yes.
that we're going to reveal.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. It's not that serious. You said you travel a lot without telling anyone.
Yeah.
Why do you prefer to do this when Ingress is so focused on the social experience?
Because I think if you always tell someone, I will go to some place for traveling, maybe they will help you to contact the agents in that place. But I want to be solo. I want to travel by myself. I want to know many things that I don't know without the other people's help. Maybe this is backpacker. This is the backpacker.
Okay, man. I think you are losing a lot of fun there, but well, everyone has their way to play this game. So, how many different countries do your English passport have stamped on?
For now, it's just to China and go to Australia because one country is so big. But I already planned to go to different countries later.
Okay. So, if you had a free plane ticket and a hotel room, where would you want to go to play English?
Wow, this is a very serious problem. um, I think I would go to Iceland. Yeah, I would go to Iceland. And this is a
Why?
dream country of me. I want to go there, and I already checked the internet map. It's so it's not much portals in there, and maybe I will more easy to capture all the portals in there if I have enough XMP.
Okay, it's really difficult to play with your hands really cold.
I need to go back.
He was just saying it's really difficult to play with your hands very cold in Iceland.
Oh, yeah, I think it is. But I already have passed through free winter in the same year. I finished the first winter in Hong Kong, and then I go to Australia, and when I come back to Hong Kong, still winter, always winter. So I don't think.
For the record, Reykjavik in Iceland, the capital, is like the #1 party city in the world.
Yes.
So that's a good place to go to. Yeah.
If you want to travel in there, is a good place. But if you want to live in there, it's not a good place. So cold in there. Always winter. Always.
Too much party.
Too much.
So along the same lines of traveling,
Yes.
what's your favorite portal key in your inventory and why?
I need to find it. I have a favorite portal already. I have a favorite portal, but I need to find it. Yeah, this one. Yeah, got it. Can you see?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Can you see?
Cape History.
Yeah, this is my old guardian in there. 144 days, and someone killed it. And the location is called Wallace Island in Australia. This is the first place that I have been to Australia. The first place in Perth, and I love this island because you can try to do many things in there, and also you can get your guardian if you are lucky.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. But I can't recharge it. I can recharge it in Hong Kong, so I'll try to take a look at it every day and think, can this agent called Brito Breaker, can he get a 150k base guardian? And I will check it every single day.
That's awesome. So here's a tough question for you.
Yes.
If you only had 2 minutes to convince someone to install Ingress, what would you say?
I would say install it, try it, because you'll meet many new friends, and some crazy guys will walk with you and play with you for the whole night without sleeping. No more sleeping when you play Ingress, and you can keep it. Okay? This is the main point for the girls. If she's a girl, and I will tell her, you can keep it. Just install it, and believe me, you love this game, and you will be crazy agents when you play this game. Start to play this game. Because when you're level 1, you can do nothing. You can just recharge or deploy the portals, and until you're level 6, level 7, you can maintain all the portals, and you can capture all the portals that you pass through, or just near your home. Always the portals, everywhere.
So portals everywhere, and the game will make you crazy. That's definitely one way to sell it. Yeah. Again, the social aspect of it, and you get to stay up all night with a bunch of guys. I like that. That's good. So, all right, are you ready to answer some viewer questions? We've got a few of them that have been submitted for you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's go first to, how about, we'll go back to Fevinus Silverwind wants to know, You mentioned that you play video games sometimes when you have your spare time and you're not playing Ingress.
Yes.
So what was your favorite video game, if any, prior to playing Ingress?
I like to play Battlefield 4.
Ooh, I like that.
Battlefield. And you like it?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, give me your name and I will add you.
No, you'll be so much better than me.
No, I'm not so good on playing Battlefield. But I love playing this game because we can have the teammate, in the squad, 4 people to 5 people inside, and you can capture not the portal, not capture a portal, capture a checkpoint. You can go there and kill some guys, or you can have more fun than playing solo. Just like Ingress, solo is not a good idea when you're playing Ingress, but it will be more free than you join your team. So I will always tell the people, you can be a solo player, but sometimes you still need your teammate. Because one people can't make a level 8 portals.
So I'm noticing a trend in your Ingress experience, and that's the heavy focus on social and interacting with people and getting out and seeing the world. Is that fair to say that that's how you play? That's why you play?
Yeah. Oh.
Right. Oh, what? Frank? Is that you? No. Okay. Shaking your head. All right. So the second question we got is from Andres P. He would like to know what has been the most complicated operation that you have done. So what has been the hardest operation that you've been part of?
Oh, the hardest operation. Maybe it's the fuel pan that we cover the whole perf. The whole perf is so hard because someone drive me to the pretty far place. He need to drive over 12 hours until there and use many link and to cover the whole perf. And the other players, if they want to kill one of that portal, they need to drive 12 hours to that portal and kill it, and he can go home. It's so hard to go there because the first one, you're so tired that you're driving, and the second one is you can't get the GPS in there, and the third one is the network. It's so bad network in Australia.
Yeah, that western part of Australia, there's there's a
Just
lot of
2G,
deserts and
3G,
national parks there. So yeah,
yeah.
I can imagine that would be difficult. Well, speaking of difficult things, the next question for you is, what was the most dangerous portal that you have been to or tried to go to?
I tried to go to the dangerous portal it's near the sea. It's near the sea, and the GPS in there is really bad in there because 1 meter is the most far distance in the world. 1 meter, and I tried to capture it, and I tried to use it for my field plan. Then after 10 minutes to 30 minutes, I give up because no signals, and if you go through one more step and you will jump into the sea, it's so dangerous in there.
That would be bad, and your phone probably wouldn't work after you got out.
Yeah, so I think I need to buy a water resistant phone for playing there.
There's that. That's I think Sony. Doesn't Sony make one? Maybe.
Yeah, Sony.
Yeah.
I would suggest Sony Z Ultra is a really good phone to play Ingress. The GPS is really good that I've tried to use before.
Nice. All right.
Well, that's all.
Yep, that's it. That's all we're gonna do tonight.
Well, so that means that it's your turn to talk for 60 seconds about anything you want. So, Whenever you are ready, go.
Yeah. I would ask if Ingress can add some more functions on our scanner. Will the UPV and UPC show on the portals? That means if I try to go to some area, maybe I will UPV all the portals, but I will not UPC. I will not capture all the portals in that time. And maybe I will try to use the drivers to freak the portals and capture the last one. But if over half of it is already captured, I want to know which one is already captured before and which one is just UPV before. So will it on the scanner? I mean the button or something else on it.
Yeah,
that's
that would be
fair.
cool.
Yeah. More
Yeah.
information so that you don't, if you're going for those uniques, you don't always keep going back to the same ones accidentally, or just more information. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lam, it's been a pleasure to have you with us tonight. Thank you for taking the time. I guess it is so early in the morning there, so
Yeah, early morning.
thank you. Thank you for the effort.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Thanks for the invite.
No, thank you. We didn't want to get you angry because I see the weapons and the camouflage behind you, so we didn't want to say no.
No, it's just BB guns. It's not a real gun.
Okay, I believe.
We'll take your word for it.
Put your hands over your head.
Give me your XMPs.
Or give me all the XMPs always should do.
All right, well, thank you, Lam. We appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone. This was Behind the Scanner, and see you next Thursday.
Good night, everybody.
Kind of like the old school music that we got, right? Before Chris came and saved our soul and gave us the new intro and everything. Gotta keep the porn music. It has history.
That's a cool move, Frank.
You like that? It's got a good beat.